for them. Now GENG with Score at the helm are already off to the races as far as these bans are concerned. Syndra and the Callista both taken away, and Peanuts Poppy getting some respect. Of course, it is a flex. Doran's played a bit of it as well. See what else they're going to be taking away here, because Delight, oh man, GAM have done their homework.
They know. They know. I wouldn't even be shocked if they end up not necessarily banning, but at least prioritizing an Alistar pickup very early on, because Delight on that champion is simply not fair, as we have seen many a time. I like the Maokai. I know that Maokai is kind of dropped in priority in the first couple of games we saw today, but Maokai to me is a great equalizer. It both allows you to offensively play for objectives, use the ultimate as a way to deny your opponent access to the area, while simultaneously, particularly against a team that in team fights is as decisive as GENG, kind of slow down those snap engages. Oh, okay, well... Yeah, and, we're not surprised.
No, and with the fact that Xayah and Kai'Sa are both up and available, you're not going to need to worry about taking away one of those. Of course, Slater has played a wide array of champions in Kai'Sa and Xayah so far at Worlds.
Hey, they work.
They do.
They're great champions.
If it ain't broke, you do not fix it. Kiaya is, speaking of which, going to lock away one of those. This is the most played for Slater, so it gives him a lot of safety there towards that bottom side of the map. And it means that Delight's going to have to find his angles. But what is going to be the next pickup here for GAM? We'll see whether an archetype is going to come into fruition here or begin to take form for GAM.
Of course, GAM have had some more off-the-wall picks. I love this. I think that denying from really any I'd say Eastern jungler, a Lee is always a good call.
Deny the jungler? What are you talking about?
Deny Lee.
Yeah, from Chovy.
Okay, well, Atlas, we're not
quite
there yet. I know your pick'ems are riding on this. I'm trying to focus on the game.
Okay.
But as I was going to say before Levi interrupted me with the Lee pick, has played like Wukong. Obviously, his Nocturne is a very iconic champion for him, but instead it's just going to be a classic. As GENG, this draft tells us nothing. This could be...
It tells us that you should probably ban Ahri.
Yeah, that's really the only takeaway here, because that's going to be locked in, and then Doran's probably going to play Renekton, and that's it.
Yep. And
maybe Jax, you know, if he's feeling spicy.
Cardi's going to probably just lock Nautilus or something, I guess. What are we going to take into the Alistar?
Rel.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like Nico. Yeah, Nico is definitely still a very strong pick here for Kati.
Something that I was expecting to see a little bit earlier on today.
Yeah.
Because, of course, APA and Faker both played in our first game, and they really do love this champion.
It was, yeah, I think it was because they banned Ziggs and Nico.
They did definitely ban
it, exactly.
That was going to be one of the things that I was ready to look out for. We are going to see it here in the third game of the day, though. And bans now to come through. So Ahri, the only one that I can say is mandatory. But Talia going to come out first.
Not a bad one either.
Yeah.
Talia, Ahri, I think are definitely ones that we would think of when it comes that Vi-Ahri combination, something that GENG in general are a slower paced team. I don't think that they're slow by enemies when it comes to making moves around the map, when it comes to like playing macro and getting objectives, but when it comes to kills, they're pretty low key. Unless Peanut and Chovy get like Poppy Ahri, Vi Ahri, that changes things, and I think you want to try and avoid 2v2s like that, especially because with Lee and Nico, they're no slouch, right? The setup is really good for Lee follow-up if you're able to hit a root, and once you get Pop Blossom available, it can become very hard for some picks to do well, but it's going to be LeBlanc instead here.
I mean, there are a lot of things that you do have to ban away.
Yeah, I mean, Azir is like also hasn't been contested yet, but it's easier said than done, right? I don't think that there are wrong answers, but it's just GENG with their champion pools are always hard to prep for, particularly in best of one.
Yep, and Renata going to be denied here as Set is just going to be slammed. Of course, GENG, no stranger to Set support. Life, of course, on the team for a very long time is the one that makes the Set support very famous. Still, a flex could be thrown towards that top side if Kiaya would like to get it up there, but probably going to be in the hands of Pallet, because he actually looked pretty damn good in it in the play-in stages. There's the Ahri. Don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out that Chovy was angling towards that one.
And often we see that champions that are highly prioritized in play-ins, then once we get to groups, now Swiss, the priorities really change. The complete and utter lack of Crocodile is really noteworthy, particularly with how much we know that a lot of Korean teams, second of which that we've seen today is GENG, love the pick. It's going to be the Cassante Jax matchup, one that we've seen countless times. Nothing too surprising there. Jax obviously in the side lane very strong. Cassante can bear the brunt, and the amount of front line for pace and the plasma activation coming from his entire team, definitely going to be something that GAM has to look out for.
Yeah, and I'm looking, down the line as far as what GENG managed to pick up for themselves. A lot of mid-game fighting, a lot of pick opportunity as well, and also an incredible amount of comfort. Like, if you were to ask me what the most played champions this year, I'd say that, like, these picks are in the top 3, top 4 for all of them. Delight, of course, because Alistair made it into the meta a little bit late, but we saw in the playoffs he was just incredible on that champion. So, bit of a blind pick roster here. However, you look on the side of GAM, and what you need, I think, in order to try and challenge LCK teams, like, the biggest weakness is often if you're going really, really fast in the mid game. And GAM do have the opportunity to up the tempo if GENG don't manage to lock this one down. But GAM, they've got a chance. They are on the rift right now. Here we are, getting into our third game of the day. The LCK first seed up against GAM from the VCS. A tall order here for GAM.
Yeah.
But it was a tall order. It's been a tall order for other teams in the past. And
yeah, we're done. I don't get to explain myself.
This is actually the best point that Jack could ever be cut off in the middle of, 100%. He's actually going to come and invade our desk again just to finish his point in the middle of the game. That's on my bingo card, by the way, now after game one.
We were playing bingo?
Yeah, I don't even want to guess what the point is that he was trying to get to.
Who are you playing against? I'm not playing bingo.
I'm playing with myself. I can always win if it's just me.
What's the point?
Pride?
So I just wanted to make a counterpoint, but maybe we're in game.
You're the one that's allowed to talk, Chronicler, because we're in the game.
Well, yeah,
so
but
I
was having a fun time.
They can still hear you. It's okay.
Okay, yeah, but it's not the same, Atlas. I want to hear what their thoughts are.
They can always just come over to the desk, as
I was
Jack
saying,
proved already.
And you were with me on this one because I know you were a fan of this particular lineup. I'd actually argue that when Chovy had the least expectations on him is when he was the best internationally, which was Hanwha Live 2021.
Yep. Let's not think about 2020 DRX, which I always do, and now I'm doing it again. But here we are, into the game. Let's
loving this from Levi.
Yeah, go back again. Levi is just going to be stealing away Peanut's jungle. Peanut is going to know what's going on, but we'll see what's actually going to happen. Peanut's going to miss the Vault Breaker, but it doesn't matter because he's able to walk back, grab himself. Okay, that charm didn't miss on Ducati, who's going to find a Blooming Burst as well, so not too bad. Able to even out the trade.
So I think because of the bot lane situation, Levi didn't run the risk, and he also he wasn't aware of whether or not Peanut have smites. But with red buff, like, and especially with Peanut missing Q, he wins the 1v1, right? So then it comes down to, do you think that Palat can roam in time? And I think the Light did already have the move, so they didn't want to run the risk as the Light being a nuisance. And unfortunately for Levi, I think the invade, good idea, that doesn't end up actually working out or making a difference. And now Peanut instead is going to double scuttle. It's the same as last game.
Well, Facebreaker is going to come through here. Good headbutt to try and disengage from the fight. But already, GAM showing some aggression here towards the bottom side. You like to see it. And like you were talking about, double scuttle to come through here from Peanut. Levi walking over Vision as well. It looks like GAM playing through a bit of a power point here, as this bottom lane is in a pretty good spot. Although it is a stacked wave that FaZe should be able to get done here, as there is the Hex Splash into the Facebreaker Delight. Just going to pulverize. The Haymaker does come through, but the Cow is going to be okay.
And with Levi not actually getting the early invade really working out, as, this is very valuable poke. Doran is stacking a big wave. And Peanut looking for the gank here. Levi's on his way, but I don't think he'll be in time. Look how low the health bar is.
Yeah, Doran already having that chain. That's why it's so much damage to come out. The Q3 is going to connect as Levi just going to walk into the brush. I think Peanut was, I don't know, maybe he was just hoping that he'd be able to get the back off, but doesn't actually happen there. He's going to be able to get himself out of the way. So no dive. And now, Chovy here in this mid lane, looking for a charm opportunity. There are 2 Nikos though, and that can make things difficult. Doran just having a heck of a time here.
And Kiaya definitely needs to be careful with the health bar. has been able to farm really well, though. We see a lot of trading happening towards this top side, so with the jungle buffing of both junglers being a little bit wonky due to the invade, we do see that Peanut heading up there again. I was about to say, is the ultimate!
Right. Yeah, there's the all-out. Level 6 going to get gained here by Doran first, but doesn't find the opportunity, and now Kiaya will be able to get to that level 6 pretty safely under his turret. You would assume. Peanut moving on over. He does not have the ultimate just yet. Vault Breaker going to come through. He's going to connect it this time around, but there is a counter-strike, and Peanut tanking the turret. He has to flash to get out of the way, and Kiaya's like, bring it on. We'll see what else you can do, but there it is. First blood comes down, but it's immediately answered.
Doran overestimating his tankiness there, and really good use of counter-strike there by Kiaya. Peanut actually using his E-empowered auto attack. That missing damage ends up costing them, and that's a really hefty investment. Might end up being worth it. I'm not sure what the wave state is. If it ends up pushing away from Kiara, Doran can catch it, not miss too much. Might be somewhat worth if you add the first blood to it, but definitely not the cleanest dive there from GENG, and GAM going to be happy that Kiaya is able to pick up a counter kill as well, and he holds on to his flash.
Yep. Going down the line as well. Things pretty even in the other lanes, but let's have a look at this replay.
As we do see Kiaya using the leap strike, then even with the Q hitting Peanut, I think could have tanked an extra turret shot, really early flash there, but he doesn't want to get caught in the counter strike with the turret on top of him. And then Doran's like, yeah, maybe
it almost was really good.
Yeah,
but
he's not tanky enough.
Does come through. All right, we are going to be able to find the snare, and Peanut going to go down. Levi collects a second here for GAM in the early game.
And this is exactly what we have been talking about. Want to see GAM try and play as aggressive as possible in this early game. As Doran, again, both these guys just trading perpetually, both sitting on about the same items as well. But getting these type of picks onto Peanuts does take away a lot. I think post 6 is going to change some things with Chovy and Kati actually both flashing as well. I don't think that was caught on cam. That does mean that the offensive pressure for Chovy specifically definitely going to be somewhat mitigated. Will have access to his ultimate, so definitely still going to be able to apply some pressure, especially once Peanut hits 6. But it's interesting to see that all across the map there is a lot of X, and I think that type of volatility, really what you're looking for is, yeah, Peanut goes in here, they feel like they have an advantage, but crucially, Pace is behind this play, and you can't just walk past that set.
Yeah, I mean, Chovy was behind the play as well. I mean, it was GAM collapsing way faster.
Pretty well done.
Really like to see it. And Peanut just back to his farming ways here. He is ahead by a couple of camps, but honestly, gold entirely even. GAM's going to be pretty happy with how this game started. Doran be able to find Kiaya here, but E, one heck of a button to press when you're playing Jax.
But they remember up. Yeah, I don't think GENG can contest this, and they're also not really in a position to try and play for the cross map. Maybe they look to get a kill on the exit here. The light's on his way.
Yeah, Kiaya is an opportunity as the Vault Breaker being charged here for Peanut is going to come on through. Pallet going to be fighting Doran. Peanut still just in the fog of war. Doran's going to deliver them. The Haymaker comes on down, and Peanut, he's going to finally start fighting, but he's straight into a Pop Blossom. He manages to pick up the kill onto the Jax, and now it's Delight. It's Chovy, and it's GENG that are striking back in the battle. It was almost so good for GAM, but GENG reigns supreme in the end.
Well, GENG really playing with fire there. As, love this.
Kati is going to look for the snare, but doesn't quite get it. Dash just long enough for Doran.
And that was very narrowly timed around the arrival of Delight. But GENG definitely cutting some corners there. And GAM also got the Herald. So even though the kills are favorably traded for GENG, GAM will have the opportunity to maybe try and get some plate gold back. Will equalize the play a little bit. What is big, though, is who were able to pick up the kills. Right, a kill going over to Chovy this early on. Really going to accelerate him in the Ahri. Also, do note Pace going for the lethality Kai'Sa build, trying to really amp up the aggressive pressure. We've seen the Duskblade and Umbral Spike be very unfun to play into, and Umbral Glaive, obviously, as we've seen countless times, incredibly valuable at controlling early vision.
Yeah, the rush is actually kind of oppressive here from GENG as Pei is able to clear out any vision that is left in lane. Means that all of the brush control is there all of the time for GENG. First Infernal going to be taken down here. It looks like Peanut won't be contested for that one as Delight is playing Cow Bouncer. should be able to get them out of there if they do want to come down. So there it is. Secure does come through. Hextech going to be our next one. A few different options as far as souls are concerned, but Hextech and Infernal are probably people's favorites as far as the added power. Oh yeah, Levi could be in a little bit of trouble. Pallet is in the area. Slater could come on down, but there's the Vault Breaker to connect onto Levi. Headbutt Pulp does come down, and it's all about picking your poison, choose your target, and Peanut has said, Pallet, you are dead. And that is indeed how it is going to go. Doran also pushing Kiaya away in this top lane. As Chovy doing a little bit of a drive-by, but that is not the real Nico. In fact, Cardi's moving towards that top side of the map. Doran wanting to get towards this plate, but it might be decent bait here for GAM. Not going to overextend, though, as you can see.
And this is where I think a lot of the opponents of GENG always run into trouble. We're seeing it happen to GAM as well. Off of that skirmish that GENG, they gave up Herald, but they were able to win the fight. They then are able to path as Doran.
All right, there's the ult. That doesn't get over the wall, though. So Doran is just going to say, here's my R button, and just pay it no mind.
We'll be able to get another turret. Might also die. Does spot Levi here, so he should be playing respectfully. He's Cassante with flash though, so...
Oh, there's the flash kick to land onto Doran. He gets stunned up as well, and Doran's now trying to escape, but it's not going to happen. Levi going to lock down that kill, as you were saying.
You knew he was there! Doran!
Oh.
Yeah, it's classic Doran. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I am a little bit disappointed, nonetheless.
I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Desensitized?
I mean, these things have happened before. He was playing to his limits, you know?
Counterplay.
Something like that. As, yeah, Chovy is going to teleport in. Looks for the opportunities. Burnt the ult already. Kiaya out of mana almost entirely, and there's the charm. Kill going to go down, and that is going to be Chovy's second. Pays here towards his bottom side of the map as well, looking to be aggressive towards Slater. You can see Slater paying him a lot of respect. Spade's doing his best to make sure he denies as much as possible. With this wave, will push towards the Xayah, and Slater should be able to catch the wave in this 1v1.
Yeah, what we are seeing though, and this is, well, GENG, I think really only does this as hold up.
Another headbutt pulp is going to come through, and another charm will land. Cardi's going to be able to get that flash off, but there's the cease and desist. Pop Blossom going to come through, but Peanut is going to be tanky enough. He wanted to give the kill to Chovy, but it is not going to happen. Oh, another turret shot, and Chovy will survive. So it's fine.
I love how Delight just sets up a perfect, you know, standing there with his unbreakable will, tanks it perfectly. Chovy's rooted on the turret, and Peanut's like, peace out, hombre. Good luck with that one. If you die, you die.
Hey, there was no one else there, you know? And if he died, he was going to die anyway, no matter what Peanut did, so he may as well exit. I think it's fine. 2,000 gold going to be the lead here for GENG. Nothing really to worry about just yet. However, it is the tempo of the game that is the problem here for GAM, because it is slowly but surely slipping out of their control more and more. Kiaya going to be able to grab a few plates here, though, on this top side. The Jack's absolutely a win condition here for GAM. Kiaya has also been a big power point for this team throughout play-ins as well. So some options to play around, but it's looking more and more dicey.
For GAM, the main thing now is to try and get like one big fight around the Dragon, ideally, where you're really able to play off of Kati, where Levi maybe gets himself an early pick, or Pallet can try and absorb the engage that inevitably is going to come through. We've seen GENG playing very aggressive, very dive-heavy, really happy to scrap and skirmishes. Delight does not know that Levi is behind him, but this is an Alistar with ult and flash, so not the juiciest of targets. And they seem to be looking towards trying to make a play on Pays, but he's playing very respectful with Delight hovering as well, and Chovy making his way over. Isn't really an opening here for GAM.
Yeah. Have a look at the MasterCard lane economy snapshot. Of course, in lane, Chovy does focus on economy. That has been his thing. Glad that we're seeing that represented here pretty accurately. I don't necessarily know whether it tells the story of how this game has been going, but you've seen that Cardi has been first on the roam a few times, which does go back to what Chovy of old used to be like. But what we've seen from Chovy has actually been a vast improvement on supporting the rest of the team around the map and not necessarily having as much of that lane priority, which absolutely is not represented at all in this game thus far. Just a bit sad.
Peanut going to start up the objective here. I do think that GAM, once you start falling too far behind, it becomes really hard to find consistent win conditions. Doran going in again.
Yeah, not going to press the R button just yet. And Chovy looks for the Everfrost. Oh, just barely. the heels of Pallet were in trouble there. And Peanut will be able to lock down this Rift Herald, of course. GAM with full information. Levi looking for that opportunity. There's another safeguard kick onto Chovy, but it's an Ari. So he's able to press R, get out a few times, but they do put it on cooldown, and it could give an opportunity for GAM to get themselves their first strike of this game.
Yeah, would have loved to see Pallet maybe go for a Pallet.
All right, yeah, Pallet is just going to get knocked into the air, and Pei is going to be able to lock that one down. My goodness, the Acathian Rain is terrifying from this Kai'Sa. And they're going to push this Rift Herald through 2 turrets, as it turns out. Kiaya also getting down relatively low towards this top side, but Doran going to find the flash. The all-out comes through, and he just chops up the Jax.
And after some early attention from the rest of his team, Doran says, I can take care of it by myself now. And this is really where I think a lot of teams, as we have seen, GENG's mid-game, particularly when they are not falling behind in any of their lanes, is so oppressive. They're pushing you in mid. They're forcing defensive summoners, take down Pallet, turn that into an immediate double charge of the Rift Herald. And yeah, Doran is just off on his own, doing what Doran does.
Yeah.
And actually, I think really nice setup here. Knows that he has the damage available. Goes for the Q into flash. Guarantees that he's able to take down Kiaya. And everything kind of starting to fall apart for GAM. It's no surprise, but given how the early game looked, as we can see here, pretty even, it's quickly getting out of control.
The thing that I do want to see is that GAM continue to try and go for these plays, though I don't know whether it necessarily gets better as this game goes on. And so Levi,
yeah.
I think, has had the right idea in a lot of occasions. Chovy in the side lane here towards the bottom lane, looking for this outer turret. Should be able to lock that one down. It's the last one remaining. The map is just wide open at this stage, and it is so scary with the amount of pick potential that GENG has. I mean, if you walk towards Delight, then there could be so many players that could just nip over a wall and collect you, and the chain CC is terrifying.
We've also gotten to the point in the game where the level 2 for Killer Instinct is available, so
yeah,
every single play that you go for, again, every member on GENG can set up plasma stacks for Pei, so he can join at a moment's notice. Going to have a fat back here as well, able to pick up, was just sitting on a Duskblade for quite a while, or rather a Dirk for quite a while there, able to immediately pick that Duskblade up. And when there is no front line on the main enemy team, this build, very impressive. Double TP coming in.
That is a solo lane sandwich here as the charm point blank range is going to connect onto Slater, but he's going to be able to cleanse flash to get himself out. But is it going to be enough? The answer is no, as Peanut comes on through with a cease and desist. And the Zyre is going to be taken down. Pallet's now trying to stay alive. Doran will be able to lock that one down. And meanwhile, GAM is being disintegrated. They do manage to take down Pays, but I think that is going to be the end of the good news for the VCS squad. And GENG will find all but Cardi in this one.
And Cardi unable to join the play there. I think might have a teleport available at the beginning, but even if you do, by the time that you teleporting in, I think the fight was already lost. And it's the early aggression, or the way that GENG plays. As mentioned, Chovy going in here, catches Slater immediately, forcing a defensive summoner. And then even if Slater is able to press his R button here, you're not making it out. But due to the Ocean Rift, he actually never sees Peanut coming. Has no opportunity at all. And then Pays actually ends up staying alive for a little bit longer because of Duskblade. Doesn't end up mattering though. Like, it's nice that Kiaya gets a kill. But while all of that is happening, Doran also killed Palette. That was kind of a side story. And the gold lead that was somewhat manageable is now not.
Less
No,
manageable.
I'd say not. I wouldn't say less. I'm saying it's not manageable.
manageable?
Not manageable, Atlas.
Whoa.
You know me, I'm not one for
No.
strong
and
words.
Slater is now not going to get vault broken here by Peanut, but the Featherstorm does have to come through, but he's not going to get caught by the Pop Blossom. No knock-up from Delight. What was that? They do manage to get yet another kill for Kiaya, but it is once again not the story they were looking for, as he will eventually go down. It's a double for Pays in the end of it all, and this time it'll be the ace for GENG.
And Baron about to spawn in 5 seconds. GENG took some time to get going, but looking like GAM has been unable to keep this team down. Shouldn't come as a surprise, as the Baron is going to get taken, and I don't think we're going to be in this game for much longer. And unfortunately for GAM, looks like the 0-1 pull is waiting for them.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, with pulverizers like that, like, Delight, man, what an incredible start to his Worlds run, because he was one of the players that didn't necessarily perform as well when we got to MSI. So it's good to see him starting things off with a play like this.
Iconic to see Peanut miss his flash Q, but it doesn't end up mattering at all, right? The amount of CC damage available. GENG is so far ahead at this point in items that even if they lose 1 or 2 members, you can probably clinch out that fight. But if you do get everyone grouped up, it's rough.
It certainly is. Kaya, certainly hats off for always being the one that's able to at least take something away from GENG in these fights. But like you say, it's just not looking all that close. The Baron going to be secured here by GENG. They can grab themselves Soul Point if they would like as well, but I imagine that the base is at the forefront of their mind right now. And our Red Bull Baron power play is not exactly all that healthy at this point, but I have a feeling it's going to grow.
I wonder
not right now, though, because Kai is going to get some money.
Yeah, it's a bounty.
Heck yeah.
That's valuable. I wonder how aggressive GENG is going to play. I think Levi's showing on Vision now, so definitely. And actually, you know, I don't hate the cross map from GAM. It's not like you can fight this team, so you might as well try and hope that they just back off.
Yep, getting
That's
anything is definitely a positive. As Kiaya is going to keep going, and he may as well, but these inhibitor turrets will fall. At least 2 inhibitors will go down. And defending Nexus turrets is certainly going to be a priority, and as you can see, Kiaya agrees. He's going to be heading home now. We'll see whether they can hold on, because GENG, it looks like they don't want to be here for all that long today, Chronicler. Looking to try and end it as soon as possible. The Vault Breaker going to be channeled here. Picking your target is going to be important, as Peanut is just going to use it in another direction. And yeah, there is a headbutt pulverize onto Cardi, and into the backline goes Pallet. The Haymaker does buy a little bit of time, and the Pop Blossom's decent, but GENG, the wallets are too heavy at this stage of the game, and they are just going to rip through GAM. Slater, the last one to go down. It's a double for Chovy. They'll deal with these Nexus turrets and the Nexus. They'll call it a day here, 22.5 minutes.
And GENG, I think I saw a JDG icon there at the end as they dove into the side, into the fountain, because GENG looking good here today. The fact that